Space is loud in its silence. It presses on the mind, fills the skull with all the thoughts you don't want to face, and then forces you to confront them anyway. I'd spent 8 months alone patrolling the derelict zones of the Hadean Fringe, a region infamous for pirate activity and disappearing ships. I was supposed to be guarding the edges of human civilization. In truth, I was hiding from my own mistakes back home. That changed on the night I picked up the distress signal. It arrived as a faint flicker on my console, an outdated emergency code not used by any human fleet. My first assumption was a trap. Pirates loved replicating old signals to lure rescuers. But something about the faint, almost desperate pulse made me hesitate. The message carried no coordinates, only a repeating emotional signature. Not words, emotions. Fear. Pain. Hope. I'd never seen anything like it. Against protocol, I followed it. My small patrol vessel slid through the debris field, weaving between ruptured hulls and drifting metal skeletons of forgotten battles. When my lights swept across the cracked remnants of an alien pod, organic plating, crystalline engines, I knew instantly it wasn't pirate tech. The craft looked grown, not built. And then I saw her. A figure curled inside, surrounded by flickering biolights. Purple skin, faintly luminescent. Eyes closed. Breathing shallow. She looked barely alive. Young, maybe in her early 20s by human comparison. Her hair was silver and floated weightlessly around her like strands of moonlight. I forced the pod open with a plasma spreader. As soon as the seal ruptured, she gasped, her eyes flashing open, a mesmerizing turquoise that seemed to swirl with galaxies. She stared at me in terror. "It's okay," I said, raising my hands. "I'm here to help." She blinked, struggling to sit up, and then, with surprising strength, she grabbed my wrist. A flood of raw emotion leaked into my mind. Fear, confusion, and relief. Not words, feelings. She was communicating with me without sound. I carried her aboard my ship. For the first hour, she didn't let go of me, not even when I tried to treat her injuries. Her touch was warm, and every so often I felt faint echoes of her emotions. It was like having another heartbeat beside mine. Eventually she whispered her first spoken words, heavily accented. "Do not leave me." "I won't," I said, though even I wasn't sure why. She told me her name was Elira, a traveler from a distant star community called the Arden Collective. Her species could communicate emotionally through skin contact. Their ships were grown in living orchards of biocrystals. And she was on the run. From what she didn't say, not yet. Middle, the girl who wouldn't leave my side. Over the next few days, Elira recovered astonishingly fast. Her physiology knitted itself together like quick-growing vines. But even as her strength returned, she refused to leave me. She followed me through every corridor of the ship, her steps quiet and graceful. When I repaired the engine conduit, she sat beside me. When I cooked, she stayed watching, curious. When I slept, she curled up on the floor near my bunk. "You don't have to stay near me," I kept insisting. Her answer never changed. "I am bound to you." The first time she said that, I nearly dropped my wrench. "What do you mean, bound?" "It is our instinct," she explained softly. "When one saves an Arden life, we remain with them until debt is balanced. You don't owe me anything." She shook her head, her silver hair shimmering. "You do not understand. This is not obligation. It is connection." Elira struggled with human words, often searching for the closest translation. But I felt her meaning: trust, gratitude, attachment. One night, while running diagnostics, I found her sitting cross-legged across from my workstation. Her eyes were glowing faintly. "You have sadness," she said simply. "That obvious, huh?" She extended her hand. Show me. I don't. But she touched my arm before I could finish. Suddenly she saw everything. My exile, my failures, how I'd been forced into the Hadeon fringe after defying a superior officer, how I believed I didn't deserve companionship or even a place among others. Her expression softened into something profoundly empathetic. You carry your wounds in silence, she murmured. You saved me, yet cannot save yourself. I laughed bitterly. Not much of a hero. You are wrong. Those 3 words, spoken in her quiet, earnest voice, shook something inside me. From that night on, the silence of space didn't feel so suffocating. The threat arrives. We were 3 days from human territory when the scanners detected a ship trailing us. Large, organic like Elira's pod, and emitting an unmistakable predatory energy. Elira's face drained of color. It is them, she whispered. The hunters. Her species, she explained, included factions. Some believed in unity and peace. Others, the hunters, believed the stars belonged solely to the strong. She had fled after witnessing the hunters erase an entire colony for refusing to submit. They want me because I carry the records, she said. Proof of their crimes. And they'll kill you for it. Yes. And everyone you care for. Well, I muttered. That's a short list. The hunters hailed us. Their voice was a guttural vibration that sent a chill through the ship. Surrender the traitor or be destroyed. Elira clung to my arm, shaking. Do not give me to them. Please. I won't. You must. Your life is my own to risk. I wasn't a hero, but I wasn't abandoning her. We braced for battle. My small patrol craft was no warship, but I knew how to fight. We darted between asteroid fragments, firing ion bursts, using the debris as cover. The hunter's ship was stronger, but Elira was smarter. She guided my maneuvers telepathically, sensing the enemy's next moves before they made them. Finally, with fuel nearly gone, we lured the hunters close to a gravitational anomaly, an unstable gravity well. A little closer, I muttered. At the last second I cut power and drifted. The hunters overshot, unable to correct course in time. The gravity well swallowed them whole. My entire body trembled with adrenaline. Elira collapsed to her knees. I thought she was injured, but when she looked up at me, tears glimmered in her eyes. Silver droplets that floated in zero gravity like tiny moons. You risked everything, she whispered. For me. Of course I did. She touched my face gently, her emotions flooding through me. Gratitude, relief, and something deeper, warmer. Then she said the words that changed everything. Take me as your wife. I stared at her, stunned. What? In my culture, when one saves another twice, our lives become one. I offer myself freely. She pressed her forehead to mine. But only if you desire it. Elira, this is a lot. Yes, she said simply. I am a lot. And she smiled. Ending. A new path among the stars back in human space. The authorities met us with suspicion. Elira was the first Arden many had ever seen. But the data she carried, the proof of the hunter's atrocities, shifted the political landscape overnight. The Arden Collective and Human Alliance Councils began immediate talks. As for me, the higher-ups pardoned my earlier insubordination, declaring my actions heroic beyond expectation. But none of that mattered. What mattered was the alien girl who refused to leave my side. We stood on the observation deck of the station, staring at the stars. Her hand slipped into mine. You have not answered, she said softly. Do you wish me as your partner? I looked at her, at the gentle glow of her skin, the quiet strength in her posture, the sincerity in her eyes, and realized something. For the first time in years I felt whole. "Yes," I whispered. "I want you to stay. As long as you want." Alira smiled, the kind of smile that lit the stars themselves. "Then our journey begins," she said. And together we stepped into a future neither of us could have imagined. Two souls bound not by duty, but by choice, walking toward the unknown hand in hand.